Hello, this is Cadoink,
And this is NickTheGreek.
and this is
Teamcraft.
Yeah. So, Nick, introduce our players for us today.
Today we have ValdorBR as the red Terran. We have as the blue Terran AblonBr. I think that might be a team name. Ooh.
Yeah, interesting, or maybe they're brothers, maybe that stands for bros.
Or back rubs.
Ugh.
Alright, and then up as the purple Terran we have Cadoink. And we have NickTheGreek as the teal Zerg, not giving each other back rubs.
Yeah, we're not those kind of bros. But interestingly, one is capital B, capital R, and the other one's capital B, lowercase r. So perhaps it is just a coincidence. But the 4 players are spawning today on Tyrador Keep, which is a 6-player map, as we have a spawn here in the left position, a spawn on the top left, spawn on the mid right, and a spawn in the bottom left.
Ooh, so you'll have to scout early to find out who's where, and as we can see, the red Terran is scouting, while I believe that the purple Terran isn't going to scout forever.
I might scout, I might not. I tend to sometimes scout on 2v2s. I really should, because of early aggression. It is a good thing to scout. We do see that there is a really nice natural here for all the players. They do have a very protectable natural, as well as a gold base behind their kind of main, and they do speaking.
And then they do, we do see some expanding going on by NickTheGreek in the nice protectable natural expand, and that's going to be really well defended. We see finally we see some scouting, and Cadoink goes, unfortunately, to the wrong place to scout first, and sees that there's no one home. How much sadness. So, unfortunately, the upper left-hand team does not get a whole lot of information before blue and red can come up and do any kind of movement. The less time you have to formulate your plan and get ready and watch, it generally can hurt later on in the game.
Yes, and now that I've regained the ability to speak, I can say that the 2 Terran players have walled off their choke with 2 barracks as well as 2 supply depots. And so far, nothing else in their base. We do see a factory going down finally, as well as another barracks for the 2 Terran players, while we do have the same, 2 barracks for Cadoink, as well as the spawning pool finished up for NickTheGreek.
Now, what NickTheGreek and Cadoink are doing right now is they're saying, oh, it's 2 Terran. They're either going to bio ball. They're going to mix up the bio with the mech, or they're going to go all mech. And how do we know what they're going to do? How can we plan for what's going to happen?
Well, the first step is to scout and see what is in their base, and we do see the 2 barracks, but we don't know what else is in there. However, there is another thing. In order to mech, you really need 2 bases, which we do see another base, and we can assume that they are going to get an early base. So a possibility is that at least one of the players will mech. But however, the likelihood of both of them meching is very dependent on whether or not they've taken 2 expansions, because when you're going mech, you need Thors, and when you have Thors, you need a lot of gas, and so each player is going to have 2 expansions in order to support a double mech sort of play.
Yep, and you can see that the combining of armies over at the choke is happening up in the left-hand team. That way they can combine their armies, because 2 armies are always better than 1, especially when you leave Zerglings out in the corner.
Yeah, maybe he left them there in order to turn them into Banelings, because you do want to turn your Zerglings into Banelings away from your main army in case you get attacked. Or maybe they're just rallied there and he did move them to the choke finally, which is good.
We see some spreading of some creep. That'll be great down that ramp and on towards the enemy bases for as long as that creep can travel, because the more creep you have spread, the quicker those units can move, and the advantage the Zerg has on everyone else.
Yeah, as well as that vision, which is absolutely crucial for all players. We do see an engineering bay as well as the factory finished for Cadoink. He's popping out a tank as well as siege mode at this time. And we have this overlord here scouting out this base, which is very good. And back in the Double Terran's base, we do see some starports going down. It looks like they might have some sort of Banshee play as they are getting Cloak for the Banshees, as well as having 2 starports with Tech Labs on them. So Cloak Banshees is going to be quite obnoxious for NickTheGreek and Cadoink. However, NickTheGreek is working on his lair, so he will be able to get Overseers up really quickly.
Yeah, if you find a Zerg with a lair up, it's probably not the best idea to just waste your time on a Cloak unless you're sure that it'll do some serious damage. Generally, those Overseers can get popped out real quick and it can shut down any kind of cloaking ability, though for a one-time attack, real quick movements, it can do some serious damage.
Yeah, all the time in the ladder pool, I'll go into a Zerg player's base with some Banshees, and as soon as I see that lair as well as an Evolution Chamber or anything like that, I will cancel Cloak. We do see the Scouting Factory in the base right now, seeing what they can see, and they do see a lot of Marines as well as a lot of Zerglings, and so because of these Marines, they may want to stop producing Banshees, because Banshees are not very good against a huge clump of Marines, especially with some Overseers and scans.
If you're going to use that Scouting Factory, do be careful not to lose it on the run. It can really bum out your day if your factory goes down flying over.
Yeah, that's true. Especially if you want to be going a heavy air build, because you're gonna need that factory in order to build more starports like this starport that the Red Terran player is building at this time. We do see a lot of Marauders as well as Marines for the Blue Terran player, so while the Red Terran player is going for a very air, mech heavy play, the Blue player is going for more Marine Marauder ball, which is exactly what we saw before with the with this early base, or actually what we said before with the early base coming from Red and no early base coming from Blue. And we do see a hidden expansion by Cadoink here at this gold base. I don't exactly know what the reasoning is for there. I think it's because he couldn't expand here because of the Zerg creep. Really, Cadoink should have taken this expansion, and NickTheGreek should have taken this one down here. Would have gotten his creep out on the map a little further. But regardless, it doesn't really matter, because then Nick will be able to get this nice third, and he'll be able to keep his creep all together.
Well, I think one of the reasons why NickTheGreek decided to put that expand up where he did was because he wanted to be able to protect well in case they tried any kind of rushing maneuver, and we hadn't scouted, so we didn't know that they had walled off, so we weren't quite sure they were going to try a little early rushing maneuver because they didn't find us first.
That's true, and that is a very good play by Nick, and now we see NickTheGreek and Cadoink are moving to the watchtowers doing some scouting, and they're going to be able to push now that this Baneling speed is done, and Baneling speed is so good, it's going to do a lot of damage, especially to this Marine Marauder force that we do see out of AblonBr. And we do a scan for some reason, or a ping.
It's nice to see that that even while they're on the move out, NickTheGreek is expanding again, trying to know that after those units go down, he's going to need to build more units really quickly, so he's trying to use as much of his Econ as he can.
Yeah, and we do see an attack coming with Cadoink and NickTheGreek. This time they are able to do a lot of damage because the Corvades are doing that. That means they should have scanned, but maybe Cadoink didn't have scanned. His tanks sieged up at the bottom, did a ton of damage, as well as the Banelings, destroying a lot of these buildings, and they are going to be able to pick off this force, but not without losing a couple of barracks and some flight eagles. And now that they've given away the fact that there are a ton of Cloak Banshees on the field, we will be seeing an Overseer, as well as some, 2 Overseers and some possibly saved scans by Cadoink and NickTheGreek. Thank you, Nick.
No problem, man. Alright, now we're going to make a bunch more Banelings, because they all got destroyed when those Banshees came by, and those Banshees are going to fly over and really make that happy kill it. NickTheGreek will immediately try to make a queen as soon as he remembers.
He is producing a queen at this time, as well as a second queen, and we do see the Marines coming up, but man, there's not a lot of Marines. They're all kind of caught behind, and they're coming one at a time and being picked off. Those Overseers are here in time to do the cloak, to get rid of the cloaking, and but there are too many Banshees, and it's not looking good. But oh, just in time, here comes NickTheGreek's Beautilist, going to be able to pick off these Banshees, because Banshees can really shoot up.
And, as you can see, those Mutalisks are getting some wonderful splash damage with that ricocheting little spines that they throw out, getting some good hits on that clump units. If they had microed better, they would have spread out those guys as soon as they saw those Mutalisks come up.
Yeah, and they should have run them away a lot sooner. I like this creep spread by NickTheGreek. With these banelings with speed, they're going to move like a lot faster on the creep, and so I really enjoy this creep spread by NickTheGreek.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty awesome. We do see that the two Terran players have run back to their base to kind of do some defending. They really should take this expansion here as well as gear up to take this one, as I think they should know by now that the Zerg player has taken another expansion, and I don't think they know about this little hidden expansion, and Cadoink really should destroy these rocks as soon as he can.
Now having that factory spy on that expand is a pretty good idea. The problem is it's spying on the expand and not the main. So unfortunately, if they had swung that factory around and spied on the main, they would have gotten a lot more information. Right now they're just kind of spying on a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, and now NickTheGreek is going to be able to destroy it with his Mutalisk, so it won't be able to scout that much longer, and I think maybe a lot of its job was to see that neither of the players had taken this gold, but we did sneak this one down here that they don't know about, so the factory hasn't really done that much of a great job.
And now we see just a whole mess of beautiful, beautiful banelings. And they're going to roll around and do some serious damage. Ooh, I just love banelings.
Oh yeah, they're great units, and they just do a lot of damage. We do see a lot of Vikings and a lot of Banshees on the field, as well as a lot of Marines, and even Thors coming out for Cadoink. I believe these Thors are probably to attack the Banshees, as they are really good against air units, especially with their splash damage. And he's continued to build barracks and continuing to build Marines, which will do a lot of damage to those air units.
And you can see he's taking along those Overseers just in case they try any more cloaked movements, but I doubt they will.
Yeah, because of the Overseers that were built so early, Cloak is kind of a waste of time, unless the Vikings are able to pick them off, but that would require some really good micro on their part, and it'll take away from the Mutalisk fire that's going to be doing a lot of damage to the Banshees.
Yeah, when you see a Mutalisk cloud of that size, you really just need to be worried about anything, especially any kind of sneak up on some econ destroying jabs. As you're going to see, they're going to sneak around and shoot up a little bit, just a little harassment, a little piss them off, draw away the fire so they can break down those rocks if they decide. But you want to make sure you don't blow up all your banelings on the rocks.
Yeah, I kind of messed up there a little bit, moving the banelings into the rocks. And here we have a ton of Vikings, but look at all these Marines as well as these Mutalisks running back to let the Marines do some damage on the Vikings. Wow, a lot of the Vikings go down. But he did need that vision in pulling those Mutalisks back. He lost the vision. Here comes a lot of Banshees, and there's no detection here to detect them, so this is very bad for Cadoink and NickTheGreek. However, the Mutalisks were able to come in and do a lot of damage here at the front of their base, and they're going to be able to pick off 2 more of these Vikings, but this attack won't be able to do a killing blow, but luckily it was able to do quite a bit of damage.
If you saw up out of the top of your screen, you did see those banelings roll right into a serious mass of bio over for the double Terran team, and that really did pretty much a crippling blow to their army that could have destroyed and now can just kind of harass and mess around.
Yeah, but now we see a counterattack for the red Terran player attacking NickTheGreek's expansion. He's moving up a lot of Mutalisks as well as the Zerglings, which he really should keep back to deal with this. He also needs an Overseer, which he does have, very nice by NickTheGreek. He's going to be able to pick these off with ease as Mutalisks move really quick, and these Cloaked Banshees have to run away.
Yeah, Mutalisks are one of the best units in the entire game, especially one of the best flying units in my opinion, because they're so fast, they have that splash, and they can shoot up and down.
Yeah, they're very, very good against all kinds of units, and they're very good harassment units, which is very obnoxious, especially in a 2v2 when you have so much to worry about and so many things going on. When you have a bunch of Mutalisks in 3 or 4 of your bases, you're going to be having a very bad day.
And here comes some more banelings.
Yeah, tons of banelings for NickTheGreek. We do love to see these banelings, and we love using them. And love seeing them go on huge Marine Marauder balls, just absolutely destroying them. And we do see now that Valdor is building a ton of Marines, which is just perfect for this baneling strategy.
Now, if he splits those Marines and does a run and shoot kind of strategy, he can minimize the damage from those banelings. But if those banelings get to that army, which I bet they will, you're just going to see a bunch of carnage. It wasn't probably the best idea unless he does some really nice sneak arounds with those Banshees. It tries to sneak around to the back of that and destroy those banelings, but that would take too much time, I think, and he wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that's important to remember is neither of these players are Marine King Prime, so they probably aren't the best at splitting Marines up. It is something that is very difficult to do and requires very high mouse accuracy as well as APM. So the Banelings are going to do huge amounts of damage to these heavy Marine balls that we see.
And now we're seeing a nice move out, a nice getting ready to go do some serious damage. You see NickTheGreek, there's lots of expands going on. You see lots of expands on both sides of the upper left.
Here comes the Banelings doing a lot of damage, and we see that their forces are currently split up at this time, which is very bad for the two players, because they really need to keep their armies together. All these Marines back here are not doing anything and not helping at all. And these Mutalists and Thors and Marines are going to come in and do a lot of damage to the Marines because they weren't able to keep their forces back. And the Mutalists really should pull back because that many Marines are going to just take down all the Mutalists once they do. However, these Thors are just going to do tons of damage to these Marines. Just horrible amounts of damage.
Especially with that splash damage on them.
Oh yeah, the splash damage is just going to crush them. And we see 2-1 upgrades for the purple Terran player's Marines, while the red Terran player had 0-0 upgrades. So these Thors and Marines just crush that red Marine army, and they're going to be able to get up in this base and do a ton of damage.
I think that was a too micro job. I think they were trying to micro reach their own armies, and what ended up happening is that they weren't communicating well enough, and there was a split army situation. Someone didn't attack early enough, and lo and behold, it was the end of their reign on this area of the map, and they're gonna kind of just watch their base dwindle down into just destruction.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Microing, getting one person to micro is sometimes better when two players can't really keep in good communication. I think that Nick and I were very good at that. And there's a GG by ValdorBR while he leaves the game, and Ablon leaves shortly afterwards. And yeah, that's the end of this game. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really nice to see a nice win there. As we look back, we can see a really nice creep trail going off by NickTheGreek, as well as some nice speedy ground movements to combat any kind of Marines. Some Marines have that range attack, so it's good for Zerg, especially when they're facing a lot of Marines, to have a lot of speed. That way you can get to them as quickly as possible, especially with Banelings.
Yeah, the Baneling speed as well as the creep spread are very important for a Zerg player. I'd like to see some creep movement up through the center of this map next time, but I love this trail down here, making sure that either of the Terran players don't kind of do some sort of sneaky walk around. It's giving them vision, and so it's making sure that they don't do anything too sneaky.
So I bet some of you guys are tired of seeing NickTheGreek and Cadoink's videos. You probably want to submit some of your own videos, but how would you do that?
Well, you just send them to CadoinkReplays@gmail.com. That's CadoinkReplays@gmail.com. CadoinkReplays@gmail.com. And just send us your 2v2s, your 3v3s, even your 4v4s if you're feeling a little bold. And we'll cast them for you and put them up on CadoinkStudios.
And I bet that you were thinking, wow, this video is probably the best video I've ever seen. It was better than any movie, any TV show, any short film. So you probably want to subscribe to the page, or subscribe to the channel rather, and like the video. And you want to comment below and tell us what you loved, what you hated, anything.
Yeah, we would love to see your comments. We'd love to see what you could do better and what we could do better. You don't have to do that much better. Just sit there and look pretty and comment. That's all we ask of you guys. And yeah, we would like to improve because we do enjoy doing this, and we hope that you enjoy it as well.
Alright, so this was NickTheGreek.
And Cadoink.
And this is
Teamcraft.
And we are back rub free.
Back rub free here at CadoinkStudios. You back rubbing bro players, keep your back rubs to yourself, and we'll just come in with some Thors and Marines and take out your buildings.
Booyah.